When I started the business, I saw a big comparison between the Maasai warrior and my business in that I wanted to start a strong, courageous, bold business that pretty much gonna set the path. And who's best to refer to than the Maasai warrior? So pretty much the business is built upon who a Maasai warrior is. For example, if I may give you an example, they have a rite of initiation amongst the Maasai. So rite of initiation is pretty much the transition between childhood to adulthood. And for you to go through this process, what they have to do is pretty much you have to go and kill a lion. I know it sounds, yeah, I know it sounds ridiculous. I don't think they do it anymore. Of course, because of we have to look after our animals and things like that. But just for purposes of showing you how courageous they are, in that for you to be called a man, you have to have slayed a lion. Yeah, which is quite tough.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
And at what age do they do this?
So I think that should be the teenagers or adolescents. So we're talking around maybe the 12, 16-year-old. Yeah, so we're talking about a young boy going into the forest with a spear. So there's no guns. We're not talking about you have to go shoot it. So you have to use the spears and use their hands and stuff like that. Yeah.
I can't imagine it crazily. I'm pretty sure people watching this can't imagine it.
Yeah. Yeah, and also one last thing I forgot to add on to, which is really important with the Maasai, is they work as a unit. So they work as a community because they have to move around and they have to protect themselves. They live in houses called manyatas, and there they would live in a clan. So in short, that also just shows what SAAZAA is. It's a community. So we're trying to build a community of people who have got the same beliefs that can empower and bring change that we want to see.
Easy, cool.
Yeah.
One last thing as well. The Maasai are people who have kept their traditions in such that they wear the same clothes, but they try to keep homage to themselves. How is SAAZAA kind of copying that formation? Is it through the names or?
No, definitely. So yeah, I find the Maasai being the most authentic people in that they've not changed much into their ways. What they used to do 50 years ago, it's changed of course a little bit, but it's not changed much. And that's what SAAZAA wanted. I wanted SAAZAA to embody. So the authenticity where of course we are unique to ourselves, and we pretty much take that with pride. So that's the similarity between, of course, the Maasai and us. Yeah.
How is SAAZAA planning to strengthen that relationship with the Maasai as time goes forward, as the business keeps growing?
Yeah, so that's a good question. Because of course I'm involved in farming in Kenya. I do have the privilege to travel to Kenya every now and then. Whenever I go to Kenya, I like going on the safaris, and whenever we do this, I'll get just gifts. We talk about food, water, clothing that I'll pretty much take down to the villages. And this is pretty much to try to foster the relationship between me and the Maasais. Because the end goal to me would be to try to make an impact in their lives. And the impact will come through trying to be a champion in eradication of FGM. If you're not familiar with FGM, you should look it up. It's a practice that is still practiced up to now. Unfortunately, I talked about them being authentic, but this is one of the things that I would love if they could drop, just because it doesn't make sense in the world we live in right now. It causes so much trauma and death to the women. And my way of trying to eradicate this would be through empowering them with education. So I'm looking in the future for us to go and set up schools down in the villages where we can provide education to the females. And through the education, we can pretty much make a decision if they want to go ahead with it or not. And of course, if you've got the education, I'm sure you'll make the right decision. And we're not going to stop there. So we're looking after that to open hospitals, because they don't have hospitals down in the where the Maasais move, just because they're always mobile. So whether it's a mobile clinic, we're looking to set up those hospitals, and in turn the people we educate in the schools can also find somewhere to work and directly give back to their communities.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That sounds quite amazing. And is there anything else you'd like people to know? Can we support? Can people support you to achieve this goal, or how do you reckon we should know about this?
Yeah, definitely. So it's still the early stages of the business, of course. So we're not doing any solid work, but what we're doing is we're taking expression of interest. What I always say is help doesn't have to be financial. We've got people who've already committed to, when we open the schools, they'll go and actually teach. People will come and actually help us build the schools physically. So in short, you can help in any way. It doesn't have to be financial. So if you feel like this is something that touches deep to you and something you'd like to see end, just register interest with us, and when we hit the road running in a couple of years, then we'll fully involve you along the journey.